Be grateful for where you're at, what you're doing, um, what you have, and all this crap that's going on right now in this world right now. Just don't let it affect you. Keep going.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, Championship Leadership Podcast. And I'm excited we got Bonnie Lucas here with us from Law Enforcement Specialist out of Peoria, just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. So welcome to the show, Bonnie.
Great. Thanks so much, Nate. Thank you for letting me be on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you are a part of the Boom America TV show with the one of the original Shark Tank members, Kevin Harrington, and I'm lucky enough to be a part of his A team inside of that show. And so it's looking forward to digging into you and your story and what you guys are all about and what you're up to. So before we get too far though, with Championship Leadership is the name of the podcast. So I always like to ask, what does championship leadership mean to you, or what comes to mind for you when you hear championship leadership?
You know, I think as a business owner, I think we are called to lead other people. So, whether it's through employees or mentoring other people growing up in business, I don't know. We're 30 years old. I have a lot of experience. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people out there need help and mentoring. And I think it's great to see people succeed. And there we go. So helping other people succeed in whatever it is that they can do, and encouraging them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Love that. Yeah, definitely. Well, tell us a little bit more about you and your story and how that brought you to law enforcement specialist. 30 years, that's a long time. There's not a lot of companies around that have been around that long of a time. So, and then, tell us a little bit more about your company and what it is that you guys are all about.
Right. So I basically, gosh, I grew up through a family who was self-employed, and I knew that my parents were there for me, and I wanted to be there for my children, and I just wanted to be able to provide for my family and be there for my family. So I wanted to own my own company, and I came up with Law Enforcement Specialists, and that was 30 years ago. And through this company, I've been able to do that. I've been able to be the homeroom mom. I've been home with my kids, and I've been able to provide that for other women who've worked for me throughout the years. And about 5 years ago, we got an office because it got more complicated than that.
Yeah.
But we are a 3-decade-old company, and we coordinate off-duty police officers, which means if someone needs a higher level of security, like a police presence, that's who we are. So we provide that for our clients, and we work with about 800 departments nationwide, and we have about 10,000 officers in our database, and we help keep people, places, and things safe and secure. So
Yeah. Oh, so that's a nationwide company. I guess I didn't even maybe realize that, but that's incredible. Did it start out that way?
It did not. We expanded. Some of our clients locally are national companies. So I think it started off with banks,
Okay.
And so we had like Wells Fargo's and Bank of America's, and then, then it went on from there. So we started out that way, and then we went on to Walmart's and Target's, and and then Belk came in the picture.
Yeah.
And so we've been branching out for quite a while now, but it didn't start out that way, no.
Well, how did it originate? How did that idea come about, or how did you see that there might have been a need or for that inside of the marketplace?
So actually, I had a friend whose husband was a deputy, and he was working an off-duty job. We were going to dinner, and he was late, and he came in, and he was kind of complaining about the person who was coordinating it, and we got to talking about it, and it's just kind of how it all developed. And it's like, oh, I can do that,
Right.
No problem. That sounds easy. I had scheduling experience, no problem, and he had the officers, so let's go get clients, and that was about all it took. We sent out a blanket letter, and it was actually easy. I don't know. It's just super simple for us. I
love it.
So, yeah.
What a lot of police officers are looking for that extra work, that extra income. Obviously, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. All the
Unfortunately,
hoopla.
not paid what they should be.
Oh my goodness, all the hoopla about the defunding the police officers, and all the adverse comments about them and everything that's going on. It's crazy, but I mean, hourly rates. Some of these officers are making at worst like $20 an hour. It's horrible. So
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and morale is down. You know, they're turning in their badges left and right. So
Yeah.
it's it's different to do off duty. Off duty, people want to pay because they really want the higher level of presence. You know, making the jobs easier for officers to be there.
Mhm.
They like off duty, yet their departments, for some reason, find it a hassle to manage. So that's kind of also where we come in. We serve the public so people can feel safe and secure, supported. And we serve the police departments also, saving them time, money, and the liability also, and also the hassles and headaches that come along with coordinating.
Yeah.
Um, we also serve the officers, making sure that they get extra pay, making sure that they're insured and they get their 1099s every year. So, and then they're earning extra income so that they can, you know, make their goals, you know,
Mhm.
their bills,
Yeah.
and they can continue to do the job that they love. So
Right.
that's really important too.
Yeah.
And we have a new program coming out pretty soon here. It's called Blue Dispatch, and we're actually going to revolutionize
Yeah.
the world of off duty. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's almost like Uber for cops.
Really?
So
Oh,
it's
that
very
sounds
right.
exciting.
Be
What is
very,
that,
very
like
easy.
an app that people can go to and
You bet. You bet.
oh
So
wow.
they can go on there and they can order an officer. It's not quite that simple because
Yeah.
it's not because you can't just like order an officer and have them show up, but it's almost that simple. But
Okay.
they'll have to go through a process, a little bit of a process. But the
Sure.
officers can super simple for the officers to go on and pick jobs, and it's conducive for their department and their department rules, and so it'll solve a lot of problems for
Yeah,
everybody.
that's incredible. Isn't it kind of cool to see, you take the idea or that one little conversation that sparked this and to see, over the years how it's grown and evolved, right?
Right, right, exactly. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
it's
What's
pretty cool.
talk to us a little bit about maybe some other leaders, coaches, mentors that maybe you've had along the way to help you through? Because I know as an entrepreneur, it's not all smooth roads as sometimes people think it might be. So,
You know,
who are some
I,
people that have influenced you, and what is it that has really stood out
I tell you know I tell my
from those people?
employees, you know, I'm really grateful for my employees. I mean, they're my company is only as good as my employees are, and I'm very very grateful for them. Um, I had great mentors growing up, and that would be my mom and dad. I mean, they were fabulous for. Um, we had a home-based business. It was different. My parents are from the Depression era, so
Yeah.
we saved and scrimped and everything. In fact, our home was in the back of a TV shop. It was really weird. We had people coming in and they would look into our kitchen. It was so
Oh wow.
bizarre. But and
Yeah.
then when we moved out of that, we had a duplex in the back, and my dad cut a hole in between, and my bedroom was actually a kitchen. So it was really wild growing up, and I always felt like I was deprived. But I learned so much. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I can change the oil in my car if I needed to, or change a
Yeah.
tire, and I was very resourceful because of that. And I just I'm very grateful for that. But through the years, you know, growing the business, you know, I've had a lot of mentors that way. I think it's essential, and I saved this for later on because I was busy raising my family, but I didn't get a business coach until later on, probably about, let's see, maybe 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And I think that made the difference. That's
Yeah.
when I really took the leap, you know, in my
Sure.
business. So I've gone to a lot of seminars, I've gone to a lot of conferences, I've gone to many, you know, read many books, you know, I
Yeah.
do all that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that everybody needs that if they're in business. So all the encouragement,
Yeah.
but you've
How many?
also got to give back.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. How
yeah,
many employees do you have right now?
we only have like 13. So
Okay.
it's not, yeah, we
That's a
do
lot.
really well that way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Love it.
it's good.
What what's the vision for you? I always, I think about leadership. I think about, great leaders, championship leaders have a little different or bigger vision than most. And also they have courage to take action on it too. What obviously like you said, for 30 years now, you're getting ready to revolutionize this market and bringing the app to the forefront, and how that's going to really change the game for some things. Like what's the vision for the company as you continue to have this thing go and evolve, and is this something like, as far as a legacy for yourself, do you see this company continuing on, once you're out of the picture and all that as well?
Absolutely. So I'm getting to that ripe age,
Yeah.
believe it or not. And my daughter is involved in the operation.
Okay.
She's our operating manager here, and she's great. She's learning everything that she can. Of course, nobody will ever do the things like you would know, like I would do
Right.
it or whatever. So she's learning her way through this. And that's great. So, like the next 5 years, I plan on stepping away. We have hired
Okay.
a retired chief, so we have a chief on staff now. We're building a sales team, which is great. And
Yeah.
then I've purchased this building and the building next door. The building next door, I've leased out, and come March, I think that's up. So we'll move back. We'll move into that building as well. So I have the foundation, the white foundation for growth,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's all just grow, grow, grow. So
Yeah.
I think we're doing the right things. So
Is there still a pretty big need across the country for what you do, or do you feel
I
like
mean, what do you
you've
think? It's crazy out there. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So
is some interesting
security,
times.
there's a need for guards. There is a need for guards, and we can provide guards also. However, the police protection is, they're the ones who are trained. They can, um, they're just trained. They can de-escalate any situation, and
Yeah.
they have the arresting powers. So that's where guards can only really just report and call in
Yeah.
call 911 when we've already got 911 on scene. So
Is it basically strictly law enforcement that you work with, or because I know there's a good amount of like especially in the special forces realm of there's it seems like a lot of retired rangers or seals or whatever special operators will kind of go that security route afterwards, looking to put the skills that they've gathered and collected and the experiences that they've had to continue to put those to use. Is it just strictly law enforcement that you're working with, or is there some
right
military?
now, right now we're strictly law enforcement, but that's not off the table. I mean, I think
Yeah.
there's a need for those operations as well.
Yeah.
Just with the way things are going, I think there's going to, and they're busy doing their things also, but
Hmm.
there is definitely a need for that as well. So
Yeah.
there are connections that we have that we've talked about in
Sure.
adding a division
I
there
bet.
as well. So
Gotcha.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. um Well, let's switch gears here a little bit. Maybe think of a time in your life where I guess I call it a critical moment. I think we all probably have many of these, but there's usually a number of them that really stand out where, had you chosen differently, you'd be in a very different place in your life. Because I think there's a lot of people, especially the last few years, in those moments today. And, you were always looking for guidance. We always want to know which way we should go. And we kind of would like to know what the outcome would be before we do it. But, that's not reality, right? So, but there is strength and power in hearing from others and how they've decided in those moments. Is there a moment or two you could share with us to help the listener today?
God, I'm trying to think. So it's faith. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I walk by
Yeah.
faith. I
Yeah.
walk by faith. I trust. I look forward. I know that what got me here won't get me there. So I know I have to think ahead. I have to work like 5 years ahead. I have to
Yeah.
think 5 years in
Yeah.
advance. And if I don't do that, I feel like I'm stuck. And if I'm ever stuck, I'm like, oh wait, that's not me. I got to start thinking out ahead of time or
Yeah.
in the future. So I
Yeah.
think I think that's the big thing because there has been times when I've been stuck, and I think that I felt like that maybe while I was raising my kids. But you know what? I wasn't, because I was raising my kids. I have two really great daughters, and they have great families too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a purpose for everything, and if you just walk by faith, it
Yeah.
comes. It works.
Yeah.
So just be trusting and you know pray.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure there's been some decisions you've made or, and they
Yeah.
probably didn't work out the way you thought it would be, but it was
True.
better off being where you are than having stayed where you were at, right? And
Right.
and no matter what, like again, falling back to that faith of it does always seem to work out no matter what. But they're definitely just choosing a route and going with it, sticking with it, uh tends to be something that works out for people, right?
Right. My mom always said, never keep all your eggs in one basket. So
Yeah, yeah,
there's truth to that.
yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, what's as we start to kind of wrap this up, like, if there were one or two things that you could give to the listener, maybe some things that help to guide and steer you in the right path, right trajectory on your day to day, whether it's in the business world or personally or whatever it might be, that if they apply today would help move their life forward today, what might those be?
Be grateful for where you're at, what you're doing, and what you have. And all this crap that's going on right now in this world right now, just don't let it affect you. Keep going.
Hmm.
Just keep going. Do what you need
Yeah,
to do. Listen to it, know what's going on, be smart about it, but keep going.
yeah, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, what's the best way to link up with you guys? Maybe, maybe we have some law enforcement listening in today that is looking for, a company, people like you, to help them, to help put more food on the table for themselves, or to create, the retirement that they ultimately want, or just to continue to fulfill, what they do and help them to serve.
Uh,
What's the best way that they can get a hold of you? Are you guys on social media at all? Do you have a website?
we are law enforcement specialists.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the links are, but you can look it up that way.
Yeah.
And or
Probably
off
find it
duty
pretty
police
easily that way.
officers. Yeah, offdutypoliceofficers.com
Okay.
is a good way to reach us also.
Awesome. That's a
So
good
yeah,
link to have right there.
yeah,
Offdutypoliceofficers.com. Love it.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'll definitely make sure we get that linked up for everybody in the show notes too as well. Anything else here before we wrap it up and sign off?
I just want to thank you for what you've done, and I appreciate what you've done for our country. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. And same
Yeah,
to you. Yeah, you're providing a great service as well. So
thank
I
you.
appreciate you, and thank you for your time. And hopefully we get to meet with the show someday in person. That would be great. But
That would be
yeah,
great.
thanks
I
thanks
look
for your
forward
time,
to
Bonnie.
it. You bet.